Hello, and welcome to the Self Project Podcast. I'm your host, Christy Martin, and I am here to share with you my own journey to self-empowerment and all of the things that I have learned along the way. I pull from my vastly unique encounters, wide variety of experiences, and overly active imagination to bring to you, well, just absolutely everything I know. We are going to deep dive into spirituality, transformation, and healing. We are going to empower you to change your life, raise your vibe, and create the life you want to be living. I want to spin you into action. I want to launch you out of your comfort zone, and I want to give you the tips, tools, and the inspiration to go and live your most empowered dream life. I am so thankful that you are here today to join me. And this is the very first episode, so it's going to be very messy, so bear with me while I find my voice and kind of find my 2 feet to stand on and figure all of this out. This most definitely is some very messy, very, very inspired action, and most definitely outside of my comfort zone and not something I'd normally do. I've really been stretching myself this last year and really putting myself out there, and it has rewarded me with so many opportunities for growth. It's not been easy, I will say that. Putting yourself out there and opening yourself up is most definitely not an easy thing, but it has brought me so many rewarding opportunities and offered me so much healing and transformation and growth that I wouldn't have it any other way. So I do want to tell you a little bit more about me and my story, the things that I like to talk about that we're going to be talking about on this show from here on out. So I thought that this would be the perfect opportunity. It's kind of like speed dating, so you can listen to this first one and see if you want to go on a second date with me, and then maybe a third date and a fourth, and then maybe we'll eventually end up getting married. I mean, we're not going to get married, but you know what I mean. I like to use the speed dating reference when I introduce myself. I'm like, hey, I'm Christy. I like, long walks on the beach and brownies, and I like to talk about spirituality and blah, and people are just like, whoa, okay, chica. So that's me in a nutshell. I am high energy. I am random. I ramble. I'm most often usually pretty entertaining. So here I am. So I am a wife. I have been with my husband for almost 18 years now. I am a mom to 5 boys. They're 14, 12, 10, 9, and 8. I know. I'm actually sitting in the bottom of the closet right now because it's quarantine, and it's mid-morning, and they're already well underway being noisy. So I literally am in my closet with the doors closed, and I don't know what they're doing, but it'll be okay. Everybody's gonna survive. Anyway, so I became a stay-at-home mom about 7 years ago. Before that, I was an ER nurse. I absolutely loved that job. It was just perfect for my personality and my ADHD and my need to be on the go and doing different things and critically thinking all the time. It really, really suited my brain and my personality. So when we experienced mass layoffs, and I was part of that, it really just threw me for a loop. It had always been, me and my husband had always talked about, with 5 boys, that, okay, I'm going to stay at home. Eventually, once that he had advanced further in his career, I was going to stay home with the kids. So that had always been in the workings, but this kind of just shoved me off the cliff into it. Okay, I'm a stay-at-home mom now. And, I guess there's that quote, the grass isn't always greener on the other side. So I absolutely, don't get me wrong, love being a stay-at-home mom, but at the same time, I was left with such this lost and adrift feeling, this feeling of unfulfillment, of being just a piece of me missing. Who am I? I'd identified so much with this career and, wrapping my personality and my identity into it, that once that was gone, then I was a mom, then I was a wife, but who else was I? Who was I? What did I even like to do? I was really literally left with those questions. I don't even know what I like. There's literally a period of time where I went through where I'm I don't even like anything. I don't know. It took a period of deconstructing what beliefs were mine and what beliefs were somebody else's, because I am a person who is highly suggestible and highly influenced by others. I can come into a group and absorb. I think we all are to a degree, because they do say, like, watch your 5 people that you hang out with. You are your 5 people that you hang out with the most. And it is so true. Especially for me, I have a tendency to really get absorbed into the energy of whoever I am with. And I can start taking on, some of those mindsets and the thinking and things like that. So, which we all do. It's a proven scientific fact that, whatever group you integrate yourself with, you're going to be, taking on the traditions and the routines of that group. But moving on. Now, I don't even know what I was talking about. I get off topic a lot. So, I, again, lost the job, didn't know who I was asking all those questions. So, I just really, really struggled after this job loss. I really went through this really dark period. I fell heavily into alcohol abuse for a period, not quite 2 years, just really heavily into it. I had also had gastric bypass. So, while the outside had changed, none of the inner work had been done, and the inner person didn't change. That inner person was still unhappy. That inner person still looked in the mirror and still, saw just imperfection, saw ugliness, saw just unhappiness. So, you can change as much as you want to on the outside, but until you get in and you start digging around and doing that inner work, it's not easy, but you have to do it. Like, you have to do it if you ever want to take tremendous quantum steps forward and spring into the life that you're meant to have. Like, it's not easy, but it is so worth it. The healing and the transformation that comes with it. Again, I digress. So I had had gastric bypass, and instead of being able to feed my insecurities and numb myself and my overwhelm and my stress and my emotions, and instead of being able to numb with food, I was left struggling with all of these feelings and these things that I didn't even know what to do with, and it was so uncomfortable. And I felt like I was constantly just like, when you, I don't know if maybe you put on this giant rubber suit and just imagine yourself like stretching around in it, like stretching your arms and your legs out, and you're like, I can't get this thing to fit. It's so awkward. I can't get, like, what is this thing? Like, that's how I felt. And so, again, while I had lost tremendous amounts of weight, I was still carrying around all the same inner baggage, the same weight of that. So I fell into this, again, alcohol abuse, really horrible, like, state of depression, and just, it was really bad, and like suicidal ideation, and, old patterns of like cutting myself and things like that started re-emerging, and it was just a really bad period. Like, I don't like to reflect on it a lot. But I have been forced to a lot this year, and it's really led to a lot of healing. So, I hope that I will be able to share tidbits more of that with you. But, so it eventually, ended up, just at a crashing point, and I went to rehab for 30 days, away from my family. And then, while I learned some really great foundational skills, I did relapse, which then led me to some really interesting experiences. Jail, long court processes, therapy state therapy programs. Like, don't even get me started there. It's been a really long road. It's a really interesting road. I don't tell everybody that story a lot, so that feels really liberating to just throw that out there into the world. So just, I really, after I, got cleaned up, I just started throwing myself into service to nonprofits, to like helping around my children's school, and really learning about, fundraising and things like that. And so that really helped kind of keep me busy, but I noticed that I was still like just cramming thing after thing after thing after thing onto my plate. I thought, oh my gosh, okay, so you don't have the substance now, but you're filling your life with busyness, so you don't even have time to think. And it just running around, I filled my plate with so many things that I was running around with this just constant state of overwhelm, this constant pressure inside of I have so many things to do. Like I am not enough. I'm not doing enough here. I'm not doing enough there. I'm not doing enough as a mom. Like there's so many things. Oh my gosh, I hope you can't hear my dog right now. I'm like, she's in the room now. She's whining. There's no quiet anywhere, guys. So yeah, there was all of that going on. And then, so this last year, I really started focusing on just really starting to take care of myself and some self-care. And my eyes were really, really open to like everything that I was basically missing out on by not taking care of myself. Oh my gosh, I'm going to let the dog out. I'll be right back. Beep, beep. Thank you for hanging around through our commercial break. We are now back to your program. Okay, I'm back. And then when I came to sit back down in the closet, I hit my knee on like my shoe box and it really hurts right now. So I don't even know where I left off. But yeah, so just I've really, really been diving into just doing a lot of inner work and transformation and healing for myself because I'm tired of feeling like crap every day. I was tired of waking up not excited about life, feeling so unfulfilled, just going through the freaking motions and just like, is this it? Is this like all there is? Because this sucks. Like, this is not fun. And I'm so thankful that the universe just kind of slapped me in the face and was like, wake the stuff up, wake the F up, and like get with the program. And I have been. I mean, I'm here for the program. So this year then, 2020, around my birthday, like I just felt this really strong pull to like there's so much more out there. Like there's so much more of a purpose that I have here. Like I'm being pulled to something. Like literally, I can't even explain it. Just this like magnetic inner pull that you're just being pulled around to something. I don't even know what yet. I haven't found it, but it's been a fun and wild ride. So yeah, right around my birthday time, turned 36. Crazy. I declared to my husband and then the world, I'm gonna do one new thing a week. Like I don't even care what it is. Maybe learn one new thing, go try a new experience, go do a new class. Like I thrive on adventure and fun, and like I'm such a curious person, and like that's when I'm in my element and at my happiest and my most passionate is like when I've met somebody new or I've learned something new or I've just been surrounded by this wondrous energy. I have almost this like childlike curiosity, and I've always tried to stuff it down because nobody wants to be seen as like childlike. But I really come to start embracing that as I've been learning more about my personality through things like human design and astrology and Akashic records. And I've just really like time and time again, they're just like, you're very fun loving and like children are drawn to you because of your youthful personality and this and that. And I'm like, oh my God, it's time to stop like trying to be something else and just freaking embrace it. And it's been so fun. Like, I know my husband gets a little annoyed with me because he's got like a sixth child, but I'm like, oh, well, at least I'm entertaining now and I'm not like morose and moping around all the place and still being an immature child. Now I'm a fun, immature child. Again, I digress. So my very first thing I went and did was I went and took a class to learn more about chakras, and it was freaking awesome. Like, it kind of started introducing me. That was like my real first introduction to like energy therapy and energy healing and energy work. And I was just obsessed after that to learn as much as I could. So I started learning about Reiki. So I went in and I got a Reiki massage, and that was like, I don't even know what's happening here. This is like magic, like unexplainable. I have to know more about what's going on. So I dove in to learn more. And then next thing I know, I'm I'm able to practice Reiki. You can do Reiki on yourself. So I'm always giving myself Reiki. And what that does is that helps like just kind of clear out your energy blocks that you have in your system. And we'll talk more about that later. I actually have a fantastic girl that I met that I'm going to have her on here to tell us more about it and what it can do for you and how you can benefit from Reiki yourself and what exactly it is. So I'm not going to dive much more into that. But yeah, now I'm a Reiki practitioner level 1. There's a couple different levels. I'm now certified in emotional freedom technique, which is tapping. We're going to talk more about that. I'm getting my certification in hypnotherapy. I'm like completely diving into the psychology of the subconscious mind, which is completely fascinating to me because I remember in nursing school, like psychology was always my favorite subject and like the one that I understood the most and the one that I could just dive into. And I'm like, the mind is so fascinating. So like, this has just been like, this is my jam. This is my jam. So I'm also learning about the shamanic practices and rites of the Munakai tribe. And, you know, there's a whole initiation process to do some inner work and healing with that. And I'm in the first stage of that. And it's amazing. Like learning about sound healing and the story of the tarot and tarot cards and oracle cards and how they can help guide us. And like, it's just, my world is like spinning, and every day I wake up so excited just to learn more. And I'm like, I just want to share this with everybody because it's so fun. So it's all so fascinating, and it has helped facilitate so much self-understanding and self-love and healing and just total transformation for me. So I'm going to go ahead and wrap this up, but literally my goal is for you to always walk away either feeling a multitude of different things, either hope and inspiration, maybe some passion, some fire, and some empowerment to like go out there and do something. I want you to feel seen and I want you to feel heard. If we're talking about a really serious subject, mental health is something that's really big to me too. And ADHD, I have a son with ADHD, and we're, working through, different steps with him, and we're in different chapters. It's been a little struggle in quarantine. We've had some setbacks and just working through that. So we'll talk about that some. And I just want you to feel seen and heard and know that you're not alone. And I'm also a little bit eclectic. So I want you to feel accepted just as you are, because I'm quirky. Like I'm super duper duper quirky. And those people, like those are my people. The ones that are just a little, we're just dancing to the beat of our own drum. Like those are my people. And I want you to feel happy and I want you to have fun. And I just want you to be able to leave, feeling that, that you've let my story be a beacon of light for you. And I hope that you also continue to stick around and you can use these tools and these strategies that you learn about to achieve empowerment in your own area of life that you want to. So I have a really quick exercise for you before we go. I want you to think, grab a pen and a paper, or you can type it out. You can even keep it in your head, but I always like to say pen to paper because it just makes it more real and tangible and, puts it as a goal for you almost. So if you were absolutely limitless, you had a clean slate, no responsibilities, unlimited finances, resources, like absolutely limitless, what would you create? What would you do? Do you love to paint? Do you love to write? Do you want to start your own podcast? Do you want to be an actress? Do you want to go save the rainforest? Do you want to stop human trafficking? Like, what would you do if you were completely limitless? And it can be more than one thing. If you're very multi-passionate like me, I'm like, I have 20 things that I would do. That's amazing. So what I want you to do is write that down, and that's keep that with you, and keep that as goals for yourself, because you can do anything. You really can. And I'm going to teach you all the tools and strategies of how you can get to having that confidence that you can do anything. So the other thing I want you to do is I want you to come over to my Facebook group, and I want you to let me know. Come and let me know what you would do if you were limitless. I would love to hear from you. I would love to hear you come and share. So you can find that information in the show notes, or I'm going to tell you the name of the group at the end in my outro because I'm trying to be all fancy like that. So I'm so glad you guys are here with me today. I'm going to wrap this up, and I hope that you will continue joining me because it's just going to get better and better. I promise. I promise I'll get the hang of this. So thank you so much, you guys, for tuning in. Thank you so much for joining us for the Self Project podcast. I hope that you found a useful tidbit that really spoke to you today. So please come and find me on Instagram at the Self Project Studio and let me know what you want to hear more of. Also, definitely make sure that you come and join my Facebook group at the Self Project Studio Collective because that's going to be where the real fun is. So make sure you subscribe, and I would love for you to leave your reviews and your feedback. I'll catch up with you next week.